Join the conversation on Reality Radio, the show where we discuss everything reality TV with The Review, analyzing everything trendy, the gripping moments, and all the drama. Where we talk about all the TV show participants who were the most at everything. And finally, the predictions, where we try to find out which participants might or might not be voted out of the show. Tune in to Reality Radio and let's get real. On Lagos Talks 91.3. Join the conversation.
And yes, that moment you've been waiting for is here. It's time for Reality Radio, your one-stop shop for all things reality TV shows. I'm your host, Ify. In the studio with me, fabulous Joy.
Hello.
Hello. Sia.
Hi.
The soft-spoken Sia is here in the studio. And Kiki of the one and only Kiki's Gist.
Hi.
How's it going? How is it going?
It's going well.
The going is well. Anyways, guys, so this is somewhat the finale edition. I mean, Reality Radio hasn't come to an end, but it's the finale for BBNaija. Because, you know, for the past couple of weeks, we've been covering and touching on all that's been going on in the house. And now that it's over, you know, they wrapped this up last weekend. We know the winner, White Money. We're just going to wrap it up and cap it up with this particular episode, talking about everything that happened in the house, talking about our highlights, talking about the fights, the funny moments, the intriguing moments, you name it. So we're going to be touching on that on today's edition. Hence the reason why I have these lovely ladies in the studio with me who are going to be taking us through a few of the things. So let's start off with the very first, the highlight, talking about the wild cards. I mean, we're going to skip them coming into the house and all of that, but just jumping into the wild cards, the fact that they knew at the end, they knew that there were some housemates that were fake housemates. Big Brother told them that there were 2 fake housemates and they had to figure that out. And at first, it seemed like the housemates were onto something. It seemed like, oh, they probably were going to figure it out. But at the end of the day, they didn't figure it out. And that was somewhat determinant on if the wildcards were going to stay in the house for the rest of the game or not. So if they figured it out, it means that the housemates would have left. That's Pere and Maria. But since they didn't figure it out, they joined the show as legitimate housemates. So ladies, let's start with that, talking about the wildcards. Did you know at the very beginning who the wildcards were? And did you think that there was going to be such a twist as, oh, fake housemates in the house?
Nah, I didn't know. I'm not sure. I didn't know. But I didn't know there was going to be a twist like that. But you know, sometimes like that, I think previous years people had done that before. Yeah. But then when they were in the house, I didn't know that they were fake housemates.
Yeah.
So for me, I think going into such a show like that, that's based on a social experiment, you can't go in with any kind of expectation, right? Big Brother is so quick in making twists, making things enjoyable for the entertainment factor. So I think you just go in with low expectations and just appreciate the entertainment, you know.
Kiki's Gist.
Same, honestly. Like with Big Brother, he normally, like Joy said, with previous years, he's had add-ons where he's like putting new housemates or putting new housemates and they turn out to be fake, etc. So like, I wasn't surprised when he revealed to the public that Pere and Maria were wild cards and it would take the housemates to figure them out to get out the game. But yeah, so like, it was just, it's more like, okay, the show started, let's see what Biggie has for us this season.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And now just speaking about new housemates, let's move on to that because that's another highlight where we saw that Big Brother surprised the audience and the housemates as well with new housemates, which is something like you mentioned in previous seasons he's done at different times. But particularly for this season, it seemed like he had to do that because people were complaining that this year's BBNaija was boring. And then they welcomed Queen, KV, Michael, JMK, came to shake things up a little bit in the house. But guys,
Which
if
landed
these
flat.
So that's the thing. If they didn't come into the house, do you think that the storyline would have still been interesting? Did they actually make any difference in the way or the trajectory of BBNaija from how it started?
So honest. Okay, how honest can I be in the show?
100%.
My first time on radio.
100%.
Okay, so I think one thing we have to first of all understand is that a lot of the entertainment this particular season completely came from the production team, right? They relied a lot on themselves to insert all kinds of twists to kind of shake up the house because the housemates were not delivering. So from the king size eviction, that if you go by literal terms, king size is 6 by 6, and they only ended up evicting 4. That did nothing. To the whole wild card situation, I don't know that even did really much apart from evict Beatrice, Nee and Earrings, who no one was really watching, be honest. To the whole truck situation where they had these 2 housemates playing with toys and ended up bringing them back into the house. To the new 4 housemates that you mentioned, all of them left within 2-3 weeks. The only one that kind of made a splash was Queen. But, I mean, her fight with Maria, lasted about 10 seconds, did nothing. Her love romance with Bomber, get in line. What else? So, I don't know. I can't say really move the needle left or right.
What do you guys think?
So to be honest, I don't think it was. I don't think anything changed when they got in the house. And yes, they weren't delivering as much as what we subscribe for.
Yeah.
Right. So then, but bringing them into the house, I felt like it wasn't necessary.
The new housemates?
Yes, the new housemate, because they didn't do as much. I thought Big Brother gave them maybe tasks, different things to do in the house, to come and shake the house up and all that. Hence, when Queen had that fight with Maria, I was like, oh, okay.
I felt like that fight was a bit too forced because of the way she was
so
doing.
Exactly. It was not necessary, to be honest. And that's why I thought, maybe Big Brother sent them to do 1 or 2 or brought them in to participate in 1 or 2, maybe something to shake the house and all that. But then no, nothing happened. And then they all left the same way they came, apart from Queen.
The same way they came, they left.
Apart from Queen.
That's terrible. Kiki.
This season was, I don't know if it was because we were expecting too much,
maybe,
or I really don't know what it was, because with last year it was like really bang on, and I think that could have been because it was like lockdown, everyone was at home, there was nothing to do,
right?
etc. Because I remember when the season started, everyone was complaining it's boring, and I was like, you guys give them like 2 weeks, let's see what happens. Like, they're still trying to get to know each other and stuff. But in the end, it was sort of like a drag.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't... So I sit down and I think, okay, what content really stood out? And I can't, like, off the top of my head think. I had to think really hard.
Yeah.
So, and bringing the new housemates, I'm not really sure that really did anything because, like, they said they left in, like, 2 weeks? And it was only Queen. Queen managed to stay till, like,
Close
the week before. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, But
Ify, don't you think that, the idea was right.
Yes.
The twist and everything was creative. I think the problem might be in the selection of the housemates. And yes, I'm going to go down that road.
Okay.
So, as we've seen, season after season, it seems like the people that walk through those doors are not really there to compete. They're not really there for the grand prize. They're not really there to strategize. We can see that word has almost been demonized today, right? They're not really there to advance in the game for the purpose of the grand prize. How many of them spoke about the 90 million? I think a lot of them see the show as some kind of platform, as a conduit to celebrity status, to stardom, right? So when they do come in as a twist, as a wild card, as a new housemate, they're not really there to really compete in a way that's entertaining. They're there to get a German car, to get an apartment in Lekki, to get a fan base. I mean, look at Princess saying, I just wanted to walk through the doors. Perez said, Beatrice said the same thing. Perez said he just wanted to last, to the week 4, week 5. Maria said she didn't even intend to win.
Even White Money.
Even White Money said, no, wait, hang on. White Money didn't say that. The question was, this is Ebuka's interview, I watched it.
Okay.
Ebuka asked him, at what point, if you got to, would you say you had done enough? That at this point, you'd be satisfied that you had sold yourself enough? And he said 4 weeks. He said 4 weeks was enough to showcase all that God has put into me. And I think if I had lasted up to 4 weeks, I would be good. So context matters. I'm sorry, I'm a White Money gang.
In the house.
So don't come.
I like White Money as well. But in the house, he said times without number that as long, especially with Queen, when he was trying to get her to be comfortable in the house and focus on the game, he was like, as long as I've walked through the doors, I've blown.
Yes.
So many times.
I don't remember.
Yeah. And that's the reason he was doing all what he was doing.
So
in
it
the
goes
house.
with what you're saying, that most of them just wanted to be in the house. So
it's quite interesting that you guys have highlighted that. Now the question is, moving forward, are we expecting the BBNaija team to come up with more enticing prize money, or do you think that the trajectory of the show has changed the idea behind getting on BBNaija moving forward? Is there a way that they could get people to come into the house to actually compete? Because now it seems like a lot of people are just like, oh my God, my life would change if I just step into the house. My fan base would increase if I step into the house, which will obviously translate to some income, being a social media influencer. So moving forward, are we expecting the BBNaija team to come up with a more enticing prize, or is there a way they can even change the idea behind getting into BBNaija moving forward?
I really, really love Big Brother, and arguably I would say I'm the number one fan.
Okay.
But I think they need a break. Even if it's just a year. Because we keep watching literally the same thing. Everyone comes, does the same thing, and then we just need, even if it's a year, let's just sit down, go back to the drawing board, and then
I
we need a break.
agree.
Yeah.
The show's become such a copy and paste. Even in The Task, I can watch one season, sit down at home, study, and go prepared with a script in the way that they've accused the White Monies and so on and so forth, and win the show. I know that I need to know how to sing. I need to.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I need to have some kind of story that shows I don't come from privilege. There's some struggle in my life. Potentially get into a ship with the most handsome guy or whatever. There are ingredients that are consistent.
Exactly,
season
and
after
that's
season.
true.
Know the things to say to give you airtime.
Exactly.
Just watch next season. Someone is going to start cooking and cleaning.
And someone do definitely get into a relationship, forceful relationship.
But then the thing is, Big Brother Worldwide is somewhat similar. Because it's you just go into the house and just you're supposed to be yourself in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So even if they take a break for 1 year and they come back, wouldn't it still be the same playing card?
Yeah,
where
maybe they
people
should. Maybe it shouldn't be restricted to just being in the house inside one room. Maybe they should do something
they
different.
should randomly go to the cinema.
No.
Or
They can't do that.
Of course. Maybe they should introduce outdoor stuff in the house as well.
Okay.
So maybe something different from what we see every time. Because if you put everybody in the house, it's the same thing that is happening that will still happen.
Yeah. So Yimika, what do you want to say about that?
You definitely get in a relationship. What else you want them to do?
Which is why it's a social experiment, because you can't be in the house with same set of people for 72 days or more and not be attracted to one person.
Exactly.
It's going to happen. But when I say go back to the drawing board, I mean with the task, something more interesting. Just find a way to spice things up. So even the viewers, we're not expecting the same thing, because it's almost as if we also understand, we know what's going to happen next. Which is why when people were judging White Money that, he's being strategic, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he said he's tried to apply 4 times, year after year. Meaning he's watched the show and he's seen how people what they have to do to.
So you
can't blame him. I think I said this on the show. You can't blame him for watching and understanding the show and going on there to give us what we want.
Yeah.
So
But you know that social experiment word that you just mentioned? For me, this is a hierarchy of what the show is supposed to be in the way that its creator designed it, right? John DeMore, he's the one that created The Voice as well. First is a business venture. It's a money-making machine. Next is a competition. I'm going to say that again. It's a competition. Then it is a social experiment, because the experiment is to see how these people compete, what tools and resources and personalities they bring in order to allow them to advance in the game. And then it is a reality show, only because there are cameras around. So in taking that 1 year break, I think they need to go back to the table and find out how to make it competitive again and stop this sort of, okay, for example, take the power away from the public. Because if I know what the public likes, which we've all kind of listed, right? How we look, how we talk, how we dress, how we dance, these things factor into our fan base, right? Take power away from the public and allow the housemates themselves nominate and evict. Do that for the first 6 weeks and allow them to talk about nominations. I don't understand how you can be in a competition and you're not allowed to discuss who's a threat, who's a strong contender. If I was in the house, I'm going to get the three of you, use my emotional sort of EQ, IQ, and manipulation to get you on my wing to kick him out. Right? Next week, I'm going to kick you out. It's like that's the entertaining
So if
Mm.
we're going down that route, right? Because you made mention based on the hierarchy of the purpose of the show, it's a money-making venture. And we know the fact that the power is in the hands of the viewers, hence the reason why you see people voting, and that's a form of income as well. Because the viewers are made to believe that they are part and parcel of the show. So maybe they could divide the power and say it's not just in your hands. It's also in the hands of maybe the housemates and whatever other addition that they decide to make. Because at the end of the day, these people are seeking profits. A lot of these telecoms companies that are one way or the other contributing to the sponsorship are looking for the numbers. Like, we want to make sure that we're engaging people on such and such. The SMS, let them, sending messages. Hence the reason why they probably would want at least a certain level amount of power and control to be in the hands of the viewers.
Yeah, but I thought it's already 50-50 or part and part.
You think so?
Yeah, because
I don't think so.
Because the housemates are the ones to nominate who is going to be up for eviction, and then the
Audience,
the viewers decide who leaves and who stays. So I think it's already half and half.
I think they maybe need to take a step back to actually look for different ways to actually shake it up.
Yes, exactly. Like what she said, like what Sia said. Maybe they should be able to discuss. I think it used to be like that in the first,
conspiracy is never allowed.
It's never allowed, and I don't understand how that's not. That's how it is in Canada.
Yeah, I think
Australia.
it would be interesting if they do that.
Yeah, just do it for the first 5 weeks, and then the next week, throw it to the public. Right. So it's a good way to test. Just watch if that was the rule. The number of applicants will significantly drop. The caliber of applicants would also completely change.
Interesting. Well, why do you think so?
Because if I know I'm going into a house where I have to rely on my EQ, my IQ, my social skills, and not anything physical, how can I have a script? It's going to make it a bit more authentic, and you really get to see the true nature of each person. Because the game will now really challenge you. So I might not be as inclined to go to such a competition, right? It would really be for the student that wants to advance in higher education and get a PhD and is looking for money, right? And is willing to do anything to get that kind of... Why do you think out of 26 housemates, all of them want to go into the same industry?
Entertainment.
How is that not problematic?
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting that you've raised that. We're going to touch on that very shortly, talking about the general view, the general consensus of what BBNaija is doing to society, especially given the type of content that we're seeing on that platform. So before getting into that, please feel free to join the conversation. 0809 234 5913 0809 222 0913 01515 0913 01515 1913. Lagos Talks, good afternoon. Who's speaking, please?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Val.
Val, all right, let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody in the studio.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
First of all, I must confess, I really didn't watch the Big Brother show, but I was following it up on the reality radio. Okay, and
fantastic.
I think I was up to date.
Okay.
Now, suggestions. I buy into some of the suggestions. One of the ladies there made concerning taking away the power from the people. Not totally.
Okay, see ya.
But
Okay.
to some extent, maybe 40-50% power to be taken away from the people. But in a situation where you try to avoid bias, there should be like a faculty that might end up maybe after the people must have chosen or evicted somebody, they have like a time lag, a little space for one or two people to be brought back into the home, brought back into the house before they are finally evicted. And so a faculty can decide that. Then apart from that, I think emphasis should be made on culture and tourism. How to boost culture and tourism through our own storytelling from the Big Brother show. So maybe more emphasis should be made on advertising or promoting our different cultures, bringing in our different cultures, seeing how you can modify it to attract people to Nigeria, to attract more people to Nigeria in terms of culture and tourism. So it could entail visiting some strategic places, doing one or two shoots or one or two programs in some strategic places, some states, and all that. It could help. And
right.
I think I buy the idea of 1 year break. For me, 2 years to get the break. Because I think we are too conversant with this entertainment, all this kind of stuff.
All right, thank you so much. Now, just speaking about the caliber of people and the types of content that, we probably hope for, expect in the nearest future with BBNaija. Number one, we have to understand that BBNaija is purely entertainment. Let's start with that because, entertainment is what actually brings a lot of money in Nigeria. And dare I say, one of the reasons why it sells a lot is because we are one of the most sadly frustrated in the world because of the conditions that we find ourselves as citizens of Nigeria, let's be honest. Hence the reason why we gravitate towards entertainment. Anything comedy, if you see what's going on social media, what's getting the most likes, skits, comedy, things that will make us laugh and just relax. So it's purely entertainment. However, what are your thoughts about the way people see BBNaija? Because when you think BBNaija, matter of fact, let me even rewind a little bit. Before I started reality radio, I remember I received a very sanctimonious message from one of our listeners on social media, rather on WhatsApp, who was talking about, Ify, how can you be talking about BBNaija? You already know what it's doing to our society. And she had a few other things to say, which I believe was sanctimonious, because at the end of the day, this is my job anyways. But that aside, we cannot take away from the fact that this is the way people see it. They think BBNaija and they're just thinking, oh my goodness, lasciviousness, lust and things that degrade society. It doesn't teach anything. And if we're taking a look at some of the content that we're seeing, it's no surprise that a lot of people see it that way. Dare I say, a lot of adults see it that way. That what is this doing to society? Blah, blah, blah. So I want you guys to give me your take on that, especially when people argue that BBNaija should not even be existent in our culture. Because we are different from the Western world is what people would say to you. And you would see how they would hold an argument against BBNaija being a part and parcel of our entertainment industry. So what do you think about that?
Funny enough, those people who say there should not be BBNaija, they even know the story more than people that watch the BBNaija itself. This thing is entertaining.
Okay.
See, many of us are already frustrated in Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria already is frustrating people. So imagine you coming back home after all your day hustle, stress and everything. You just open your TV and you see something that is funny and you start to laugh. Or you want something you want to even discuss with your family and all what's going on. For me, I feel like it's just pure entertainment. And if you want to watch it, please watch. If you don't want to watch, honestly, keep your comments to yourself.
Even they advertise on TV, like, this is how you can lock the channel. Don't watch it.
Exactly. It's either turn off your
so
TV or change. You have a lot. How many stations on DSTV or GoTV? Come on, watch something else. So people should just keep their opinions to themselves. For me, it's entertaining to me, and I like it. And in fact, I want to be there.
And apart from being a source of entertainment, I think it's also a source of employment. When they had the presentation, the gift presentation, was it on Monday? The day after the finale, right? The CEO of MultiChoice, and she was a content director of West Africa MultiChoice. I think her name was Bumi. she mentioned the number, the thousands of people that were employed.
Fantastic.
Directly and indirectly, from the decor interior designers to the cooks to the electricians and, everyone that makes that house, in the house and behind cameras. Right, the production team.
They took a picture last year and it was tons of
massive.
them.
I think she said 12,000 directly, indirectly combined, and then directly was about, I think, 1,000 or 2,000. So for me, anything that gives my common man in this country a job, I am all for it.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a few calls. Lagos Talks, good afternoon. Who's speaking?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Richard.
Richard, all right, let's hear you.
Okay, on the matter of changing it a little bit, I think we should have a winner-takes-all scenario. The reason you have people coming in and believing it's like a platform for them to do other things is because you have all these games they play in between. People are winning 1 million, 2.5. Some are getting brand endorsements while in the house. It doesn't make it competitive enough. I'm sure we've probably heard of Squid Games, the kind of like the most popular series at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm not advocating that they should kill themselves, but the idea, what made Squid Games what it was, is it was a winner takes all, and everybody else completely loses. You would see people competing better. And that idea of taking the power away from the audience and to the housemates, maybe you need to switch it. Let the audience nominate, then the housemates will be the ones to
That's
actually really good.
Wow.
That's really good.
I will hire you.
It will be mind-bending.
Wow.
You see people playing games. That's when you would really enjoy it. I used to be a fan, but I don't watch it anymore because it's just another platform for people to enter the entertainment industry. Like someone mentioned in the studio, how come every single person just wants to go into the same industry?
Entertainment. That's very true. Well, multi-choice, call us up because we're getting great ideas
But
here.
what if that's the idea?
Can I also say that would literally help with not making the game easily predictable? Because from like the first week, I can tell you that people knew white money was going to take the money.
Yeah.
So it's like if you keep on, I mean, in the end, still, if like white money was loved by a lot of people, so even if he was nominated by the housemates or nominated by the viewers, he probably still wouldn't have left. But there's still that like uncertainty. You're not really sure how it's gonna go. But like, and I think that's also why the finales are always like, okay, just announce the winner. We already know who's gonna win anyways. Because if on the final day we heard, Liquors, everybody would be mad. Did you get like, how did that happen? What happened? But then you just already know that, okay, white money is going to. So it's like we're just watching the show to see how it ends. Not really.
Even knowing how it ends already.
Yeah.
Let's take more Lagos Talks. Good afternoon. Who's speaking?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Emeka is my name. I'm calling from Surulere, Lagos.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, okay, so I want to react to the topic you raised regarding the reality show.
Yeah.
Well, the debate, the common debate about whether it should be scrapped
Or
people
not.
that
Yes.
argue against it, that it's immoral. Yeah, let me use that word. Yes. So I always ask, each time people come up with that argument, I ask them, do you watch African Magic? Do you watch on video? And they say, yeah. I say, what's the difference? The same way African Magic and you get entertained from African Magic, it's the same way other people get entertained from Big Brother. Collectively, they are entertainment. In fact, I told you that a particular friend of mine, he loves football. I told you that there are some countries where football is banned. They don't watch football there. But you are watching football here. So all of them, they are entertainment. You cannot select, say, maybe pick your preference and condemn the others. The same way people love something and you hate it, it will be the other vice versa, in another context. So allow people be, yes, I know that there are weaknesses. The people coming naked and all those things. Your own video too you watch, you see those things happen. So why don't you condemn those ones too? Look at the strength. Now ask me, what do you learn from the show? I said, interesting. See, even the task It's because you don't care to know. If you sit down and look at the show, the task alone, let it not. Even someone raised the issue of promoting culture. I think they do that already. It needs to be more enhanced. They do promotional cultural tags sometimes, where they will make you wear cultural regalia and all that. So, you learn from it too. I remember Emmanuel, Queen, and Angel. They were doing a Akwa Ibom Day or something. I learned a lot that day in the show. So you can actually learn. It's something you can learn from. We should not just condemn. It's a message to those people that condemn the show, please.
All right,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution. This is coming from a listener saying Kiki sounds so much like Maria from this season. Kiki,
do I?
I do not know. Is
that person sure? Is this Sia they're trying to talk to?
I don't know. This is from Ola saying, I doubt if there would be any break on BBN. The amount of investment in building that house is massive, but I think they need to come up with new ideas. The show is becoming a drag. This is coming from a listener saying Buhari will be very happy if BBN takes a break. Or he won't be happy that if BBN takes a break, he won't be dragged for 3 straight months. Interesting. So you know how they say BBN distracts
a distraction
people, that now it's over. They're now aware about how our society is being run and all that's going on. Anyway, just back to some of the highlights. Let's take a look at some of the relationships in the house. We know that we saw the love triangle, I believe, with Sasuke, Cross, and J-Paul. And we know that we saw what was going on with Saga and Nini. We saw what was going on with White Money. I feel like White Money had a subtle rectangle, but it wasn't so obvious until later. Maybe specific things happened. We were like, okay, JMK, okay, Queen, okay, Jackie B. So it's like, where did all these people come from? So let's touch on these different relationships in the house, and of course, Emmanuel and Likoro. So for you guys, which do you think was the most entertaining?
None.
Ooh,
none.
I think Nini and Saga's.
I mean, this wasn't a relationship for Cross and Angel.
Angel and who?
Cross. It wasn't a relationship,
right.
but their whole friendship thing was fun to watch.
When it was 6 hours and then off for 4 days and then back again. Okay.
Yeah,
because they were on and off for me.
But like the others, I don't think there was anything interesting, to be honest.
Just the fact that Saga was all over Nini was something to talk about for me.
I think the highlight of Saga and Nini's relationship was when Biggie got Nini out of the house. Aside that, there was nothing interesting. I don't think.
I mean, it was what I do appreciate about those two is that they did maintain a closeness and loyalty from the very beginning till the end. Right, the game did not. Actually, to be fair, I think that's because no one tried to infiltrate their situation.
Just left them on
they already knew that Saga was Nini and Nini was for Saga.
Yeah. But then it started off as a foursome. It was Nini and Saga and Peace and Aaron, right? And then one by one, they started to sort of chip off, and it was those two standing, and they left together, they came together, they stayed together. So.
I mean, Emmanuel and Licorice as well, if you're going to say that. I think...
Please, let us know why you are coughing.
You're pro Emma Rose, right?
I mean, I don't really care.
Okay.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But for them, I think they were able to maintain focus on the game. So it wasn't like Licorice got distracted because she was liking Emmanuel, or Emmanuel was carried away because there was Licorice in the house. They were still focused on the game. So they stayed loyal to the reason why they were in the house in the first place. So yeah, that's that, because of what you said about Nina and Saga.
Okay, so let's also take a look at Buma and Tega. That's one. I feel like that was a major highlight. We can't take away from that. But before getting into Buma and Tega, I remember when Saga came here during the interview that I had with him, Nini, it just seemed like he was being very defensive. Very defensive about him liking Nini. Nini was like, well, you know what? Saga and I were just friends. Saga never asked me for anything. So it was not like he asked me to be his girlfriend or anything, because he knew that I already had someone out of the house. And then Saga's like, you know what? I was just, he then said, when he was talking about why he could not stay till the end with that task that Big Brother gave to him, he was not like, looking at the options, would you do something
for 200 abeg naira?
Just for 200 abeg nairas, would you do something to your friend that you know is hurting your friend? That you're the reason for your friend's, frustration or whatever, however he put it. That was his defense. And he said it time and time again that it was nothing and that they were just friends and he's an expressive person. Got to a point where I was just like, you know what, let's move on from this because I know that's going to be a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Can I just
He was very defensive.
Yeah, like it's a game. So if Big Brother tells you to do something, you need to remember that you're in the house for a game, which is why Nini didn't think twice to do what she had to do. I mean, she was in the white room saying, "Oh, don't cry." She didn't think, "Oh, Saga's my friend. I'm not going to do it." Do you get what I mean? So, but I guess people are different. But in the end, it's a game. So, like, you need to remember why you went in the house.
But then, do you think Saga was really into Nini?
He probably was. I think Saga's a great guy. Like, I think he has a good heart. And I don't know if he has any... I think he has brothers, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, but then being raised, like...
No, I think he doesn't have any brothers.
He has 2 sisters.
Just 2 sisters.
Just 2 sisters, exactly. So, like... And he was super close to his mom from what he said. And then just with the way, like... So, he's been around females, more or less. So, like... You expect him to show...
He's in tune with his emotions.
He is super in tune with his emotions. So.
But at the same time, if you're given a task, right, of course, even Big Brother would ask you, are you up to the task or not? And you have the right to say no, right? Which he eventually did. But if that show is supposed to represent a brand of how you want to showcase yourself to potentially future endorsers and companies or whatever the case is, you want to show that you can commit. You want to show that you are disciplined. You want to showcase that you can deliver, right? These are things that you want to sell to your future employers. So in a way, I think at face value, it's a game, but there's millions of potential endorsement deals coming from this.
Exactly. So I think that was where he actually lost it. He didn't think twice. He felt it was just all about the abeg naira or the abeg 200 abeg naira that was supposed to be given to him. But then it goes beyond because others, people are watching you. Yeah. Don't forget where you're coming from. Don't forget where you are.
Exactly. And for me, I was like, you failed at the task. That's one thing. But then you went ahead to tell her that Big Brother...
Why?
And then you went why? And she was like, I'm sorry. Why?
This is coming from Miriam saying, I feel the team needs to bring back the weekly tasks. It makes it interesting to watch. And the weekly task makes the housemate think more and want to impress the audience even more. All right, just to touch very quickly on Tega and Boma, the aftermath, especially when she got out of the house and she saw that what she thought was content was not content to Nigerians. Matter of fact, they're saying that what she did was abominable and that they said that she was a disgrace to womanhood. And also for Boma as well, he wasn't left out of, all the heat that was being thrown at the both of them because they were saying that he should have respected the fact that she had a husband. That it's not like he didn't know, he was aware, but he went ahead. And when they came out, they apologized. And now Tega complained that her page apparently was brought down from what I saw. And then she put out a message saying that, she's tired of all this. Kiki, what was that she said that time where she was like, she's tired of the bullying or something along those lines?
Negative energy.
The negative energy.
And it's exhausting for her mental health.
So what do you guys think about the aftermath that even now that the show is over, before the show was over, she was out of the house and there are other, evictions, but people would still talk about that. So what are your thoughts about this still lingering and the fact that they're still coming at her with the heat and with all the criticism?
I feel like of all the things you could have possibly used as your content, it was that. That is ridiculous. I mean, she's done wrong and they've judged her. I think maybe let her be. You guess, because literally every time I post something on Tega or Boma, it's like tons and tons of negative comments on there. And she's Nigerian. And I said on one episode here, when TTC went into the house and disowned his family, he came out and that was terrible. That was it. And I feel like he would have done better if he didn't do that. So he came out and literally fell off. It's just maybe like all the TV shows you see him on now and all that, but nobody cares for TTC.
He's on TV shows?
Yeah. See? You see my point. So like with Tega, I don't know why she thought that was okay. I know she said that she had spoken to her husband before going into the house, and he was like, "Yeah, do whatever you have to do."
That husband that left her hanging when she came out.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. Where he was like, the Tega that I know is not the same Tega that is inside the house. The Tega that I know is a Christian. I'm like, but bruv, you know that you probably agreed to it, but because you saw how Nigerian men were like, nah, man, you be like, how can your wife even have the audacity to do that? He then changed his mouth, and when she came out, she was like.
If I was married and I was going on a show and my husband said do whatever, I'll look at you twice. Like, are you being serious?
Do you know why that's not the case for them too? Tega's husband, Angel's mom, and Angel's dad are the 27th, 28th, and 29th housemate of shineyaeye season. As far as I'm concerned, I see their photo shoots, and I mean, Angel's mom just posted a few hours ago saying she's open for business deals. Ooh. Now her dad is doing photo. Things with the top 6. Like, I don't understand what's going on. But with Tega, right, controversy sells, right? So she was right to want to do that.
Not the sort.
Do you know why? It shows that we do have a limit as Nigerian, right? As Nigerians. The population, we do have a limit. We allow liars, backstabbers, gaslighters, thieves and druggies and alcoholics and whatever onto the show, but apparently we have a limit when it comes to adultery, which is good, thank God, but she didn't do enough research, right? And I think a lot of what caused her downfall is the back and forth, because she came with an apology. Actually, no, on stage she told Ebuka that I gave you guys a show. She was
acting a script,
and then 2 days later she gave a sob story apology on IG Live with no
makeup,
crying, with the fake tears. And then a few days later she's saying, well, it's rated 18, so what if I had sex on the show, so what? And then she's saying mental health and I can't deal and deactivate. So I'm a little confused as to where she stands on this subject.
She needs a good management to start with.
Exactly. I feel like that's what it is.
You before you got into the house, you all had all this thing planned for. If that was her strategy, and then you got into the house and now you are out and things are going wrong, I mean, you should be able to stand your ground.
I think it's just a very silly strategy. Like, I can't wrap my head around the fact that somebody went into the house and thought that was a good idea. Like, come on.
But finally she did, and she's out. Yeah, you should be able to
even
face
single angels getting dragged for kissing whoever she had to kiss during the
more than one.
Do you get what I'm saying?
And all that.
Yeah, and then you're married with a child and you think it's okay to be on TV kissing another man.
For future applicants, if you can hear me, 2 things you should never play with on the show: God and your marriage.
Don't do that.
And I think
whatever else you do, everybody will be all right.
It's the perfect place to end today's episode.
Sorry, I just want to say something. I think one of the things that affected the show entirely is the fact that Big Brother brought in married people or more of older.
I think that's fine. Like, but
in times past, there have been people that were married.
Yeah, they've been married,
engaged, relationship.
Mike was married, and Mike stayed till the final.
There you go.
Yeah,
and he was one of the favorites of the fans.
Yeah, like it's going with, because all these things that they say, I don't have a strategy, rubbish. You have a strategy. Say you have a strategy only with your protest.
It's 3:59. This is where we wrap up the show. It's been absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone who was a part of reality radio throughout the BBNaija season. Reality radio is not over yet. There are several other reality TV shows that we're hearing would be popping up any moment from now. We'll definitely keep you updated about that. But you've been absolutely amazing. Thank you for watching our videos on YouTube, for your comments, for your likes, for subscription, for sharing the videos, and for just being a part of reality radio. Kiki from Kiki's Gist, thank you so much for being on several episodes of reality radio. Sia, you've been a darling. Thank you so much for coming through today.
Thanks for having me.
And Fabulous Joy, thank you so much for all that you do for reality radio. And to everyone, thank you. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Ify_I, that is IFY_I. Check out my videos on YouTube. Ify Igwe, that's IFYIGWE. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Check out the Lagos Talks YouTube channel. We have absolutely amazing content, Lagos Talks 913, and also subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And a big, massive shout out to SM Production for being super splendid all throughout with the fantastic videos. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Join the conversation on Reality Radio, the show where we discuss everything reality TV with The Review, analyzing everything trendy, the gripping moments, and all the drama. Where we talk about all the TV show participants who were the most at everything. And finally, the predictions, where we try to find out which participants might or might not be voted out of the show. Tune in to Reality Radio and let's get real. On Lagos Talks 91.3. Join the conversation.